Hi Capricorn, here is a general look at your solar chart for October 2015. I just want to mention the new moon. Actually, it's happening in Libra, which is at the top of your chart, and it will be opposing Uranus, which is at the bottom of your chart. So both of them occupy an extremely influential position in your sun sign chart, probably different positions in your natal chart, but that goes for all of us. For your information, if you want to know, the eclipse is happening on October the 13th, and it will be at 19 degrees of Libra. And this will serve to stimulate the long-running Uranus position, which came into the root of your chart in 2011. So I'm just going to recap a bit about what that means. And it means that there will be phases of uncertainty about the roots of your life, maybe, or it might be to do with family or tribe or neighborhood, this feeling of maybe more coming and going, less really anchored, strong stability, that kind of feeling. Change may affect family members as well, or decisions made in the past. Actions taken in the past will come to roost now in the present. Anything swept under the rug will tend to surface, and you will be forced to address it. And if your domestic conditions have been unsatisfactory, Uranus being the planet of reversals might mean that your fortunes are reversed, and you do then get yourself on a, if you've been on an uneven keel, which you didn't like, then you will very likely, with Uranus here, get back on an even keel again. Or other way around, if you've been feeling cramped and stuck and stagnant in a situation with a setup, domestic setup, or with family members, or tribal connections, or neighborhood, or place on the map, then you are likely to be able to get freed up from that, because whichever way you feel freer, Uranus is likely to be pushing you towards that way. Although if we do feel, even though we do feel stuck sometimes, we're too fearful to do anything about changing things, and the Uranian energy will just kind of come through there like a, like a lightning bolt sometimes, and just decide, the universe is going to change these for us, and then we have to pick up the pieces, become that flexible, open mind, that bit more flexible and open-minded about our situation, and realize that maybe the way we'd felt about it before wasn't quite right, and you will end up being in a freer situation in the future. Maybe having made alterations, maybe modifying your situation in any of those areas, the domestic setup, the family, the place on the map, anything related to parents as well, that's possible. And that is the ongoing long-term Uranus transit in a tiny nutshell. So there's many other ways you can look it up. Uranus, Uranus at the root of your chart, in the 4th house of your chart. And but don't take any one opinion as gospel. It's a pity a lot of the old astrology books haven't been written up online. Now then, this new moon, which is happening on the 13th, will give you an opportunity to initiate a change which will hopefully favorably affect this long-running transit of Uranus, which is going to be in there until 2019. In just a small way, but a new moon there, it might mean that you are forced into it because something happens, or maybe you have elicited the change yourself. But over the subsequent 4 weeks from the 13th, it's a good time to take the initiative to step up to the plate in some way, to deal with authority, maybe to make the impression that you want to make on somebody. You could feel a bit more, sticking your head above the parapet, a bit more scrutinized, but this is your opportunity to go forwards with aims and ambitions, whatever they happen to be. Now, other news is the sun is in the same area as the new moon, them being really, really, really close together. That's why we can't see the moon, and that's when she's new. And so the sun is also putting that area of life, which is about aims and ambitions, which is about authority, maybe people in positions of so-called power, bosses, teachers, officials, anybody like that, bureaucracy. There can be more of that for some of you, or maybe it's parents for some of you as well. So you have to, with the sun here, just pay more attention to those sorts of areas, and also your own outer image, how you are representing yourself, how something is representing to you. You just got to think a little bit more about that during the 3 weeks, just over 3 weeks that the sun is there. And just be more aware of rules and standards that are applied by others in society who maybe we have responsibility to, or maybe we have to look up to, or maybe we have to in some way are obliged to for something or other. However, it's always a good idea to have a plan B and a second opinion. Now, Mercury is also there, so we've got a lot of emphasis on that area there. Discussions, correspondence, paperwork, forms, again, the rules, and all of that could be highlighted. But also, it might not be like that. It might be career or a new enterprise that is being highlighted. It might be your general life direction that's being highlighted. And there's a lot of sort of thinking and chit-chat around that, and maybe forms, maybe other kinds of paperwork as well. And you will be putting mental effort in being articulate in the way that you express yourself, in order to make the impression that you want to make, in order to represent yourself in the way that you want to be represented. And you should also expect, if not demand, that others are clear with you as well. And especially these people in so-called positions of power are not allowed to get away with anything. No, I do not have a personal axe to grind. Now, Mercury is retrograde until the 9th, and it was retrograde since last month. So that's just for your information to know. If you do follow astrology online, you'll know that Mercury retrograde times means that things can have to be rescheduled sometimes, or slowed down, or you don't get the comeback that you were waiting for, or you just have to wait around longer. But the advantage of that is that you can rethink, you can refine, you can define, even if you're not very sure, and then refine. You can just dot the I's and cross the T's. Now, Venus is about to move. Venus has been a very long time in one sign of the zodiac. Since June the 6th, Venus has been in in Leo, and that's unusual for Venus. Venus is usually 3 weeks to a sign, roughly. So on the 9th, Venus moves out of there, but she's been, for you Capricorns, in a place of great sensitivity, a place of emotional depth, a place of subtler understanding, of drilling down to the root cause of things. And because Venus is about companionship and sharing, maybe there's been a helping hand along the way. Whether in the visible or the invisible world, I would say as well. This can have been good, actually. Yes, it would have needed you to be making this space for these researches into like deeper patterns, maybe, or trying to understand what makes someone tick, what's really underneath this, whether it's you or somebody else. But on a material level, actually, Venus here means that things ain't too bad materially, regarding property, regarding finances. Again, there kind of been somebody there sort of being a buffer for you, or picking up the tab, or through somebody else's finances or somebody else's property or resources, you benefit. So this is a very good time to take advantage before the Venus transit finishes, if anything is there in the pipeline for you, because when the Venus transit finishes, whatever has been initiated during that transit will carry on, but it's best not to leave it until the transit has finished. Negotiations can tend to go in your favor. There could be deeper, more rewarding bonds felt with another, and some of you may be feeling like shifting into more commitment. This is quite a sizzly one as well for some of you as well. And you and somebody can really, really be having a sizzly time together. This is also about buying, renting, leasing, tenancy, that kind of thing also. And again, you might do all right if you play your cards right in this area here. It's more likely that you would. But then from the 9th, Venus moves and then comes into a less introspective, more outgoing area. She gets back to her normal cycle then, so she'll be in there for about 3 weeks, where you feel support and warmth from those at a distance. Maybe you'll travel more. Maybe you'll learn. Maybe you'll find somebody who's a real teacher to you, but also somebody who's interested in what you've got to teach them. So that could be altogether possible with that one there. Maybe you'll travel with a friend. Maybe you'll travel because of a friend, or maybe you're just having more to do with those at a distance in some way, online or in some other way. You're more likely to be able to connect with others to give you those crucial bits of the puzzle that have been missing. And you can yourself be seen as the guide, but also find that right guidance for yourself. But somebody with wisdom, if you reach out for that, somebody with wisdom can be very helpful, and through their contribution, you feel enabled, you feel facilitated, but also you can be the facilitator for another. Mars is also in the same area, so this is really quite a dynamic area for a while in your chart. Long term, it tends to be stimulated because Jupiter is also there. But just these two faster moving inner planets, Venus and Mars, are there. And this means that you're leaving the time of inner turbulence, because Mars was in this very sensitive area last month. You're leaving that time behind you, and you're coming into this more outgoing, extrovert, objective area, so you get more emotional clarity. Those inner voices or those inner feelings aren't kind of being so turbulent, and you will be reaching out for new horizons. So again, this travel thing comes in here, or enrolling in something, joining up in some way, putting your name down, to start learning something or connecting with a different field of knowledge or a different field of activity in some way. And this is the time, actually, whenever Mars comes into here, that we should step out of our nice, smug little boxes. All right, maybe they're not smug. Some of them are. But our nice kind of cozy, cuddly little familiar boxes, into plunging into something unfamiliar. I mean, not necessarily, whitewater rafting or, bungee jumping, but hey, who knows? Maybe it's the time in your life that you have to do that. No, I meant something a little bit more predictable. You are a Capricorn after all. But just that makes sense, that just kind of has a continuity and ties into what's been going on, but it's different. So that would be a good idea, or even not. Even it might not make sense, but you've heard about how, somebody else has reviewed it or enjoyed it or whatever it is. And maybe it's just a book, and you start reading it, and then it just sets your mind playing with new ideas. So your physical energy may be needed, though, as you push the envelope of daily life. So Mars likes to be decisive. Mars likes to be physical with what it does. It just doesn't want to sit there and read a book, really. It would prefer to write the book, or go out and kind of research the book. Yeah, that would be more up Mars Street. But it looks really positive, because Venus and Mars and Jupiter are all in there. So this looks like an interesting sort of a time, really, for you, Capricorns. as a matter of fact. With your general sort of trajectory in life on your timeline, this looks like quite an interesting time where things could be coming along, which you feel the potential. You feel the potential there. Now, the Sun moves on the 24th and then goes into a very much progressive area at the same time as all of this Venus, Mars, Jupiter stuff's happening. And this is maybe a little bit offbeat. It might be. It's a little bit unconventional for some of you. You could be having more involvement within a community or a group of people. That kind of thing could be a key feature, but it can be working in different sorts of ways because you are working to realize something which has been on the back burner for a long time, or gathering dust on the shelf, and then, okay, it's time, blow the dust off, I'm ready. It could be like that. It can be getting the ball rolling on something. It can be networking. It can be doing something online more. It can be connecting more with friends as well, or making new ones. Now, Saturn, your ruling planet, has gone into the sign before yours, Sagittarius, and will be there in just a little bit over a year. And this position of Saturn marks a time of preparation for when it enters your sign in late 2017. So really very much a cycle of tying up loose ends, understanding maybe things to do with your history and how you got yourself into certain tight spots into certain situations, and the like, and also Uranus being where Uranus is as well. So maybe getting the clarity about what the subtext was, whether for yourself or for those around you, and understanding things in a better, clearer kind of a way. Or it might be different. It might be, Saturn loves to build the structures. It likes to clarify. It likes to make a shape out of something which is maybe vague and ambiguous. So working with dreams, working through art and imagination, working intuitively, working with healing, either for yourself or for others, or both. All of that kind of thing in this kind of more sort of ephemeral area that Saturn is going to be in, and working in a regular sort of step-by-step way with any of these sorts of things. However, it is really, I think, a lot of this Saturn transit is about making sense of the past. Yes, I think it's really like that, and maybe doing, regular work with somebody to help you make sense of the past, and definitely doing stuff for yourself which is going to help resolve things and help heal things. So not just leaning, but really, really working for yourself. And also another thing is you might feel more called to a calling. You might feel more called to be that facilitator or supporter to others yourself. Also doing, on the imaginative side of things, on the artistic side of things as well, or working with dreams, or doing regular sort of Qigong, Tai Chi, and that kind of stuff. You Capricorns born the 25th of January with 0 to 5 degrees rising, and feel that energy the most. And then Jupiter is working very much in the same area as Venus and Mars, and you'll have the opportunity to push the envelope of life. Jupiter is a learning through doing planet, and over this time, until next September, as and when Jupiter degrees come close to an important point in your chart or planet, then growth can be, this really, really big learning curve, this explosion of growth into these new interesting areas through travel, foreign connections, wider communications, spirituality, the spoken written word, another language, another jargon, and you as the teacher, you as the advisor, you as the guide, or indeed sitting at the feet, as it were, of somebody that you're really learning an awful lot from. That could be how that one works. You Capricorns born the 1st to the 7th of January with 11 to 17 degrees rising, going to feel that energy the most. And then Uranus Capricorns born the 7th to 11th of January, or with 17 to 20 degrees rising, going to feel the energy of that. And Pluto, you Capricorns born the 2nd to the 5th of January, or 12 to 14 degrees, you're going to feel the energy from that. And I'm rushing for the end here. I'm sorry about this. I must apologize if you didn't get your emails answered. We've just discovered a broken link on the website, and I'm speaking to you in August. So that's it for October, and I'll see you the next time.